There is a new category of running shoe that goes jumbo with the foams, but stays minimal with weight. They use racing materials in their midsoles, and they don't always have a carbon fiber plate. These are the shoes that look like they're max cushion shoes, but they run like they could be your next marathon racer. These are my top 5 long run shoes of 2024. Yo, what's going on? My name is Kofuzi and I'm a non-elite runner who reviews running shoes here on YouTube. And today I want to talk about the best long run shoes of 2024. Now, this is a new category that I've created and I think it might cause a little bit of confusion. So let's start off by kind of setting it straight as to why I made this new category of long run shoe. I've been seeing a kind of division happening within the max cushion category. There's kind of the old school max cushion that's super cushioned, super relaxed, and usually super heavy and plush. That's used for recovery runs. And then there's been this new generation of max cushion shoes that don't just want to go slow. And I find that they are best for those marathon training session long runs that have a little bit of pace variety in there that could go faster than just your easy run or your recovery run pace and enjoy running up to a marathon effort. These are the shoes that I've been reaching for whenever I have a long run, and I put them into their own category. But before I give you my list on my favorites in this new category, I do want to go over some disclosures. No one is paying me to make this video or to include their shoe on this list, and no one's going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about the top long run shoes, and let's start with number 5. Starting us off on this list is a new entrant from Mizuno, and this is the Neo Vista. This shoe combines a very comfortable knit upper with a brand new foam, Mizuno's Energy NXT. It's a shoe that is kind of like a supercritical foam. Mizuno wouldn't tell me exactly what it is, but Mizuno says that it's better than supercritical EVA foams. It's a very squishy foam with a lot of movement to it, compression and a soft decompression, and it's paired with a Mizuno Wave plate, which is a glass fiber reinforced plastic plate. All these things put together create a shoe that I didn't love for easy and recovery paces, but when you pick up the pace a little bit and really get rolling, the amount of compression and decompression works well for those days where you need to work a little bit faster than easy. But because of the fact that it disagrees with me so much on those easy and recovery paces, that's why it only barely cracks the list at number 5. Now moving into the number 4 spot is another new shoe from a brand, and that is the New Balance Balos. Now this is a shoe that uses Fresh Foam X, but not just any Fresh Foam X. This Fresh Foam X actually has a bit of PIBA mixed into the blend. And it reminded me a lot of the 1080 version 13, which I absolutely loved, but taken kind of like to the next level. And there's more of that fun bounciness that the 1080 version 13 had. And while it is a little bit on the heavy side and not necessarily something I would race in, also there's no carbon fiber plate in here, it's just a lot of fun to take for those efforts where you're going to pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe you got an up-tempo run or a marathon training run on deck. The Balos is going to be really fun. Now, I did have some problems running in this shoe personally. I've got a weird thing with my foot. Every once in a while, a shoe just tends to aggravate it, and the Balos was unfortunately one of those shoes for me. But for the amount of time that I was able to run pain-free in this shoe, it is delightful. And it's a shoe that I've been trying to really recommend, even though I've had a hard time running in it. It's a shoe that I've been really trying to recommend to a lot of runners looking for exactly this type of shoe because the sensation it gives is so much fun. Moving into number 3 is a brand that I always feel like is a little bit overlooked because it is a smaller brand and a lot of the shoes don't get the same hype that some of the bigger global brands can bring. But at number 4, I want to talk to you guys about the Topo Specter 2. Now, this is a shoe that uses an all beaded Pebax midsole foam. It's got it right on the side of the midsole here, and it doesn't have a carbon fiber plate, so it's not technically a marathon racer, but it's designed for marathon marathon road runners. And this is a fantastic shoe for anything from easy runs all the way up to those longer runs with marathon effort miles in them. The beaded Peebo foam works in here really well. There's a wide foot-shaped toe box in here and a 5mm drop. All things that I think set up very nicely for a shoe that you're going to be in for several hours at a time and also wanting to run fast. Now for the number 2 spot for me is a shoe that I think is going to be a number 1 spot for a lot of you out there because so many of you have been able to run well in it, and that's from New Balance. That's the SC Trainer version 3. They've got an updated version of Fuel Cell in this shoe, which is their racing caliber foam. And this is the only shoe in this category that has a carbon fiber plate. I feel like this shoe is designed a little bit more for heel strikers. And so I think that's why I don't always get along with it as well as some of my other friends do. But I also know that this is a shoe that even I can take for long runs, especially if there's some pace pickups in there. And I know for a lot of people for whom like the regular carbon fiber racers are maybe a little bit too aggressive, the SC Trainer series from version 1 all the way through version 3 has been a perennial favorite and is usually one of the first shoes that I recommend for those people who want something a little bit different than the normal carbon plated racer for their marathon shoe. And that brings me to my number 1 shoe. And this is the shoe that, in my mind, pretty much created the category because it is so big, but also because it is so light, because it is so comfortable, but because it can also move so quickly. And that's the ASICS Superblast 2. It's got a big helping of FF Turbo Plus, the newest version of ASICS Racing Superfoam, and it's got a layer of FF Blast Plus on the bottom to help it stabilize without the use of a plate. This is a shoe that I know a lot of you guys are using as a regular max cushion shoe, using it for your easy runs and your recovery run days. But me personally, I love it for those long runs that are going to take 2 to 3 hours or more, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of work pace-wise within that long run. Those are the exact type of situations where I'm reaching for the Superblast 2. So those are my favorite shoes to reach for when I've got a long run, a tough long run on the calendar. Let me know what you've been logging your biggest, longest runs in. I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. Or better yet, stop by the live stream that I do Mondays and Thursdays over on the Kofuzi Run Club channel. I'd love to talk to you guys over there in the chat. That's all for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I will see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?